Welcome to February's episode of Seek Out the Arts for 2023. Hello everyone, Jennifer L. Scott here, and welcome back to the Daily Connoisseur. Seek Out the Arts is a monthly program that we have here on the Daily Connoisseur where we do a deep dive into the arts. So we're going to study one musical selection, we're going to look at one painting in depth, and read some poetry. Seek Out the Arts is brought to us by channel memberships here on the Daily Connoisseur, which we call the Chic Society. Membership is only $1.99 a month. I do a vodcast every Friday, and we go live or do a Zoom call once a month, and we also have a pen pal program. Upper tiers are also available for those who wish to support the channel on a higher level, and right now you are seeing the Chic Connoisseurs, and at the end of the video you're going to be seeing the Elegant Connoisseurs. Many of them are artists, business owners, or high patrons of the channel. So I'd like to thank the Chic Society channel memberships for supporting this channel. And if you're interested in joining yourself, I will leave a link down below in the description box, or you can click the join button. Starting off with the musical selection. So we're doing something I don't think I've ever done before. Normally we study classical music or jazz or musicals, but this time I fell down the rabbit hole. So last month, I featured Cocoon Mason playing Ma Fan Wa. Still don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but it's the beautiful Welsh piece. And I love Sheku. He's one of my favorite cellists. And so I listened to that piece on repeat over and over, and then you know how it just keeps playing on YouTube. So I came across this piece, and it is the Connoisseur Masons, and they are playing Redemption Song by Bob Marley. So they're doing a cover of it. It was arranged by Cocoon Mason, and it's on his channel. And I've always loved Redemption Song. You know, everybody likes Bob Marley, right? But this kind of classical rendition of it is so amazing that this became the one that I put on repeat. So I know we don't normally study classical versions of pop music, but I feel like it all has a place. And this type of music is perfect for people who don't typically like classical music and they like more modern music, but this might introduce them to it. Two cellos, they do that often, where they will play a modern piece on the cello, and it just makes it so fresh and exciting. So I really hope that you enjoy Redemption Song by Cocoon Mason and the Connoisseur Masons. I'm going to leave it down below. Yes, I just am obsessed with this cover piece. Tell me what you think about it. February is Black History Month here in America, and this month I'm really excited because I wanted to study an African American artist that I wasn't that familiar with. So I discovered the work of Ernie Barnes. Now, Ernie Barnes is a more contemporary artist. He just passed away in 2009. So we're going to be looking at one of his pieces specifically that brings me so much joy, but I'm excited for us all to learn more about Ernie Barnes. So really quickly on the artist himself. He was born Ernest Eugene Barnes Jr. on July 15th in 1938 in Durham, North Carolina. And he was an American artist, and he was well known for his unique style of elongated characters and movement. He was also a professional football player, so he was a very successful professional athlete who transitioned his career into art. And as you can see from his paintings, he was meant to do art because he's so talented. So here's an example of some of his work. This is Cool Quarterback from 1991. The Gospel of Truth from 1985. And his most famous painting is The Sugar Shack from 1976. Now this was featured on the cover of Marvin Gaye's album, I Want You. It sold for a whopping $15.3 million at Christie's 20th Century Auction to the energy trader Bill Perkins. It was 76 times its high estimate of $200,000, so that's pretty amazing. But we're going to be focusing on the piece by Barnes that spoke to me the most, and I think it will speak to a lot of you as well. And that is this piece from 1994 called A Room Full of Sisters. So the way he spells it is like you're seeing it on the screen here. So this is a relatively recent painting. There is no commentary on it that I could find. I simply found the painting and I tried to see if there were any art historians who commented on it, but I couldn't find anything. So I'm going to give my own commentary on it, and I would love to hear what you think about the painting as well in the comments down below. So the first thing that strikes me in this painting immediately is how it makes me feel. It brings me joy in an instant from looking at it. And one of the main characteristics of Barnes's paintings is the movement and the emotion, because it's so bold, it's so pronounced, right? So people get an instant feeling whenever they look at one of his paintings. Because sometimes I have to search for emotions when I look at paintings, but this is unapologetically sharing joy and exuberance. So every woman will recognize this feeling. When you get together with your best girlfriends, it's that intense, joyful energy that you share. The letting off of steam, the laughter, the commiseration, the sisterhood really that we are a part of. And that's clearly what's going on here. So we have a room full of elegantly dressed ladies. There's 9 to be exact. And let's have a look at what they are wearing first, as always. So they're all dressed in an elegant and classy manner. Clearly they are together to have tea, and perhaps they are having tea before attending another event, we don't know. But we do see teacups on the table, and they're wearing beautiful, colorful dresses. Another interesting thing though is that from the shoes that we can see, they are all wearing the same shoe, a white high heel shoe. Some women are wearing jewelry, like earrings, and some are not, but for the most part they're wearing bright, bold colors in a bright, bold room. So let's have a look at the room. They are supposedly in someone's living room, and this is not a boring room. It has bold colors as well, so it has a bright royal blue carpet and bright green painted walls. And you see paintings hung up on the walls of what mainly looks like landscapes and florals. And there's a large lamp providing light. There's a houseplant in the forefront of the bottom left of the painting, and a vase of calla lilies on the stand. Now, I don't see tea in the teacup, so presumably they have been there for long enough to drink their tea. Now, something that I did notice about this painting is that everyone has their eyes closed. And at first I thought that was unique to the painting. And initially I thought, you know, when you have your eyes closed, you're really taking something in. But I did a bit more research and I found out that that was a characteristic of all Barnes's paintings. So I'm going to read to you a little excerpt from his website that explains this phenomenon and why he chooses to keep the subjects of his paintings with closed eyes. And this is from erniebarnes.com. It says, a consistent and distinct feature in Barnes's work are the closed eyes of his subject. In a television interview, Barnes said, "It was in 1971 when I conceived the idea of the beauty of the ghetto as an exhibition, and I showed it to some people who were black to get a reaction. And from one person, it was very negative. And when I began to express my points of view to this professional man, he resisted the notion. And as a result of his comments and his attitude, I began to see, observe, how blind we are to one another's humanity, blinded by a lot of things that have perhaps initiated feelings in that light. We don't see into the depths of our interconnection, the gifts, the strength, and the potential within other human beings. We stop at color quite often. So one of the things we have to be aware of is who we are in order to have the capacity to like others. But when you cannot visualize the offerings of another human being, you're obviously not looking at the human being with open eyes. We look upon each other and decide immediately, this person is black, so he must be. This person lives in poverty, so he must be. And so that's what he said about why he chooses to keep his subjects with their eyes closed, which I found very interesting. Let's now look at the body movement, because there is so much movement in his painting, and that was a characteristic of a lot of his works. So each woman here seems to be reacting to something, and the way that I see this is like, you know, when you get together with your girlfriends and someone has a really good story, or they just say something funny that makes you laugh and you double over with laughter, or you laugh until you cry. It's that joyful, exuberant moment that's caught here. So it looks like someone just told something, maybe shocking, funny, exhilarating, and they're all reacting. My favorite reaction is the lady on the right who is in the white dress and doubled over with her hands out like this. Like, it's like she's laughing so hard she's saying stop. I just think that this painting really captures the sisterhood that women do have and the joy that we get when we come together, because sometimes only another woman can relate to what you're going through, right? Whether you're talking about your kids or your marriage or your life or whatever it is that you're going through, we all have that underlying sense of connection where we can relate to each other and we can find humor and we could laugh about life circumstances. So that's my absolute favorite. I love this painting. I mean, I would love to have this over my piano. It's beautiful. I hope that this, if you hadn't already known about Ernie Barnes, introduced you to his work. You can buy limited edition prints on his website, so I'm going to leave that down below at erniebarnes.com. So make sure you check him out, and I hope that you enjoyed it, and I would love to hear your interpretation of this piece down below. And now for the poetry selection for this month. I have 3 poems by African American poets, and these are really impactful. So I'm going to start off with Maya Angelou, Still I Rise. You may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may trod me in the very dirt, but still, like dust, I'll rise. Does my sassiness upset you? Why are you beset with gloom? 'Cause I walk like I've got oil wells pumping in my living room. Just like moons and like suns, with the certainty of tides, just like hope springing high, still I'll rise. Did you want to see me broken, bowed head and lowered eyes, shoulders falling down like teardrops, weakened by my soulful cries? Does my haughtiness offend you? Don't you take it awful hard? 'Cause I laugh like I've got gold mines digging in my own backyard. You may shoot me with your words, you may cut me with your eyes, you may kill me with your hatefulness, but still, like air, I'll rise. Does my sexiness upset you? Does it come as a surprise that I dance like I've got diamonds at the meeting of my thighs? Out of the huts of history's shame, I rise. Up from a past that's rooted in pain, I rise. I'm a black ocean, leaping and wide, welling and swelling, I bear in the tide. Leaving behind nights of terror and fear, I rise. Into a daybreak that's wondrously clear, I rise. Bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave, I am the dream and the hope of the slave. I rise, I rise, I rise. That is such a powerful poem, and I get goosebumps every time I read it, so I hope that you enjoyed that. The next poem we're going to read is from Langston Hughes, and I do believe I've already read this on the channel before because we studied Langston in a previous Chic assignment. But this is called Dreams, and it's my favorite poem by him. Hold fast to dreams, for if dreams die, life is a broken-winged bird that cannot fly. Hold fast to dreams, for when dreams go, life is a barren field, frozen with snow. And the final poem is by Elizabeth Alexander, called Tending. In the pull-out bed with my brother, in my grandfather's Riverton apartment, my knees and ankles throbbed from growing, pulsing so hard they kept me awake. Or was it the Metro North train cars, flying past the apartment, rocking the walls? Or was it the sound of apartment front doors, as heavy as prison doors clanging shut? Was it the Black Nation whispering to me from the Jet magazines stacked on the floor? Or was it my brother's unfamiliar ions vibrating, humming in his easeful sleep? Tomorrow, as always, grandfather will rise to the Spanish town cock's crow deep in his head and perform his usual ablutions, and prepare the apartment for the day, and peel fruit for us, and prepare a hot meal that can take us anywhere and onward. Did sleep elude me because I could feel the heft of unuttered love in his tending, our small bodies, love, a silent mammoth thing that overwhelmed me, that kept me awake, as my growing bones did, growing larger than anything else I would know. I love that poem. Tending, in tribute to her grandfather who tended to her. I hope that you enjoyed the poetry selection for this month. I like to assign a fourth thing that we can all pay attention to. And last month, Dr. Chloe Carmichael came on the channel to share her Cocoon Breath technique with all of us, because I think that both men and women, we struggle with our breathing when we're stressed and we have shallow breathing or we hold our breath. So it's important for us to have deep breathing. And I'm going to leave Dr. Chloe's instruction right here, just in case you missed it.
Hello, Jennifer and the Chic Society. It is such a pleasure to be with you again. So what I would like to share with you today is a technique from my book called Cocoon Breathing. And I love this technique because it is relaxing and it creates a sense of privacy whenever we just feel the need for a quiet moment with ourselves. So the first thing that you do is just take a couple of deep breaths or whatever feels best for you to take a moment for yourself. And then on your next exhalation, if you feel safe to do so, let your eyelids drop closed. Obviously not if you're driving or something else, but if you feel safe on your next exhalation, let your eyelids drop closed. And on your next exhalation, imagine them dropping closed again from the inside. Once again, on your next exhalation, just imagining them dropping closed, as if with each exhalation, you're spinning a little privacy cocoon around yourself. And with your next exhalation, feeling the weight of your body supported by the chair if you're sitting or by your feet if you're standing. On your next exhalation, imagining your shoulder blades relaxing, dropping down your back. On your next exhalation, perhaps feeling the weight of your hands in your lap if they are resting there. On your next exhalation, feeling your jaw relax, maybe feeling your tongue relax and your face relax. With every exhalation, just imagining that privacy curtain dropping down around you or some other part of your body feeling a sense of relaxation. And if you'd like to, you can even add a color. Some people like to imagine a gentle blue curtain drawing down around themselves at the end of the day with each exhalation. Well, take a couple of breaths now just to come back to the room. Thank you so much for practicing with me this technique called Cocoon Breathing from my book, Nervous Energy, Harness the Power of Your Anxiety. Thank you to the Chic Society and of course to Jennifer for being a supporter of my book. And I'm a big supporter of yours as well, all of you. Thank you again and have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Dr. Chloe. And you can pick up her book, Nervous Energy, if you'd like to read more about cocoon breath and other breathing techniques. And now I'm going to share the Elegant Connoisseurs with you. Tuscany Writing Retreat with Alan Watt from the LA Writers Lab, with a special $600 off for the Daily Connoisseur audience. Jenny Williams from Carrot Top Paper Shop. Elaine Brisebois, certified nutritionist and women's weight loss coach. Elva Lee, luxury branding. Emily McNeil, fine art. Ashley Buffa, Freedom Mom's Smart Kids Chore System. Guy Blaze, author of Love Like the French, A Guide to Better Romance and Relationships. Carrie Van Hooser, author of 'Tis the Season for Poetry. Artist Kelly Cruz at kellycruzcreative.com. Macondo Forever Woven Placemats. Mrs. Shockley from A Home for Elegance. Teresa Maples from Self Care Routine Cards. Alan's Scottish Shortbread. Sturm Brothers Custom Design and Fine Jewelry. The Apron Diva by Denise Jordan with pretty and practical aprons. And thank you to the following: Catherine Ray, Adelaide Beer, Anne-Marie Ramsey, Amber Winston, Catherine Higginbotham, Darby Zweifel, Jenny Candelaria, Jet Raleigh Heron, Gina K. Henry, Julie Coleman, Juliette Keeler-Lebin, Karen Lynn Interior Design, Linda Eckloff, Carly Tom with Living in Loveliness, Maria Condor, Marie Caudill, Micah Higginbotham, Moonshadow Welsh Ponies, and Sean Ricci. Thank you so much to the Chic Society channel memberships for supporting my channel. I greatly appreciate it. I hope that you enjoyed this episode of Seek Out the Arts. I can't wait to hear your feedback down below. In the meantime, keep calm and remain classy, and I will see you in my next video. Goodbye.